Do you struggle with staying focused, resisting distractions, or pushing through challenges? What if you could unlock the mental discipline of a legendary samurai? In this video, we dive into the samurai way to discipline your mind, inspired by the teachings of Miyamoto Musashi, and reveal powerful strategies to master your focus, resilience, and inner strength. Step 1. Master delayed gratification. This skill was very important for samurai because their job often required them to give up short-term joys for bigger goals. A big part of Musashi's life was spent moving by himself, getting better at what he did, and committing himself to it. He knew that in order to be the best, he had to give up short-term comforts and joys in order to achieve long-term success. These days, it's simple to get sidetracked by the quick fixes that come with instant satisfaction. Whether it's watching TV, looking through social media, or giving in to bad habits, today's world is full of temptations that make it hard to stay focused and disciplined. But real mental strength comes from fighting these urges and staying focused on your bigger goal. You can train your mind to focus on long-term goals instead of short-term pleasures by learning how to delay joy. We need to be committed to the long, sometimes difficult path to success in every area of our lives. Just like Musashi was committed to getting better at swordsmanship, self-control is needed to be able to wait to feel good. You get stronger mentally every time you decide to wait on a short-term gain. Start with small acts of self-discipline, like waiting to check your phone until you're done with a job, or resisting the urge to put things off by taking too many breaks. Over time, your mind will get stronger as you learn to see the bigger picture, just like Musashi did by practicing disciplinedly for years at a time. Step 2. Embrace challenges and discomfort. For the samurai, suffering was an important part of growth and success. Musashi always had to deal with problems, whether he was learning how to use a sword, fighting in duels, or surviving the harsh facts of war. But it was these problems that helped him become mentally strong and tough. Problems in today's world come in many forms, such as tough conversations, hard work projects, personal setbacks, and even emotional problems. A lot of people try to stay away from pain by finding safe and comfortable places to be. But in order to train our minds, we have to actively seek out and accept pain. Just like a warrior would never run away from a fight, we too must face the problems that life brings us. It's not about wanting pain just for the sake of pain to embrace discomfort. Instead, it's about realizing that we grow when we push ourselves past our limits. Whether it's going through the pain of a tough workout, doing something unpleasant but important, or going into a scary situation, we need to learn to see these times as chances to get stronger. Musashi knew how to deal with problems in a healthy way. He wasn't just looking for peace in the quiet parts of life. He found meaning in the fight, the fierceness of battle, and the determination needed to get past problems. We can train our brains to deal with stress and pressure by taking on challenges. With each test, we become stronger and more focused. Step 3. Cultivate a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset is the third thing you need to do to train your mind. Musashi's mindset was based on learning and getting better all the time. Mastery wasn't a goal for him. He saw it as a journey that would last a lifetime. For him, every fight and practice time was a chance to learn and get better. In today's busy world, it's simple to feel defeated when things go wrong. A lot of people have a fixed mindset, which means they think their skills are set in stone, and they should do everything they can to avoid failing. But Musashi's wise words teach us that failing is not the end. It's a part of growing. People learn, change, and get better when they fail. Having a growth attitude means that we can see problems as chances to learn and get better. To get a growth attitude, you should first see your mistakes as opportunities to learn. When bad things happen, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Mistakes are not signs that you are not good enough. Instead, see them as steps on the way to success. Musashi himself had many problems in his life, such as losing battles and going through hard times in his personal life, but he always saw these times as chances to get better. When you have a growth attitude, you're willing to consider new things, and you can think in new ways. This way of thinking gives you the strength to get past problems, accept loss, and keep growing throughout your life, just like Musashi did throughout his career. Step 4. Control your environment. Even though a samurai's environment was often harsh and unexpected, they knew how important it was to make a place where they could concentrate, train, and think. Musashi himself spent a lot of time alone, where he could focus on his skill without any other things getting in the way. He knew that you could only train your mind if you kept it safe from things that could distract you. There are a lot of things that can confuse us these days. Technology, social media, noise, and pressures from outside sources can all take our attention away from what really counts. Controlling your surroundings, on the other hand, makes it possible to train your mind. This could mean getting your workspace in order, having limits with other people, or getting rid of things that are distracting you. Musashi made a place where he could train his body and mind without being interrupted. Similarly, we need to make places where we can focus on our own goals and growth. Controlling your environment helps you keep your mind controlled and focused. For example, you can set up a quiet place to work or schedule time in your day to think about things without interruptions. Not only does this apply to places, but it also applies to the people you spend time with. Musashi knew how important it was to hang out with people who shared his interests and could help him improve his skills. You can make sure that your environment helps your mental discipline instead of hurting it by choosing to be around people who inspire, push, and support your growth. Step 5. Train your focus with single tasking. It's easy to lose focus and spread your mental energy too thin in a world full of things to do and people who are always on the go. But the samurai knew that to really master something, they had to focus on it completely. Musashi was dedicated to his craft because he could only think about the present and the job at hand, whether he was practicing swordsmanship or planning how to win a battle. Putting all of your attention on one thing at a time is called single tasking. You should give something your full attention when you're working on it. Get rid of all the things that are distracting you and stopping you from doing what you're doing. In this way, you train your mind to focus deeply, which leads to better work and more mental control. To be clear, Musashi was a master. He didn't let anything get in the way of his movements when he was in fight. His mind was focused on one thing only: beating his opponent. In the same way, we need to learn how to give our full attention to whatever we are doing now. Single tasking helps us train our minds to be focused, effective, and efficient, whether it's a work job, a personal project, or even a conversation with a loved one. Step 6. Commit to consistency, not perfection. The samurai didn't try to be perfect in everything they did, but they did try to be the best all the time. Not with the goal of becoming perfect, but with the goal of always getting better. Musashi trained swordsmanship all the time. He knew that mastery would come from working hard over time. We often put too much stress on perfection these days, whether it's doing our jobs perfectly or showing off an idealized version of ourselves. However, beauty is not real. More important than how often we show up is how dedicated we are to our work and how willing we are to keep getting better, even when things aren't great. Focus on showing up every day, no matter how you feel or if things go as planned, if you want to value regularity over perfection. It's the little things you do over and over that lead to long-term success, whether you're trying to get in shape, learn a new skill, or change the way you think. This idea was shown by Musashi's life. He never stopped learning, practicing, or improving. You can avoid the mistake of perfectionism and instead focus on steady progress if you make a promise to be consistent. Over time, this steady work will help you develop the mental discipline you need to reach your full potential. Step 7. Practice self-compassion and patience. Even the most disciplined samurai had failures, messed up, and had times when they weren't sure what to do. Musashi was no different, but he knew that mental discipline wasn't about being hard on himself. Instead, it was about moving forward after making a mistake. It's easy to be tough on ourselves these days, especially when we fail to reach our goals or make mistakes. But self-compassion is an important part of having a focused mind. Being gentle with yourself, recognizing your flaws, and giving yourself time and room to grow creates an atmosphere where your mind can grow. Musashi had some bad things happen in his life. He fought many fights and won many of them, but he also lost some and had times when he struggled personally. He was patient with himself and with the process of mastery, though, through it all. Because growth is a process, not a goal. Real mental discipline means being patient. You can fail, learn, and keep going on your way without feeling guilty or judged if you are kind to yourself and patient. This will not only make you more mentally tough, but it will also give you a greater sense of peace and power. Miyamoto Musashi taught the samurai way to train your mind. It is a timeless road that needs dedication, focus, and toughness. You can develop the mental discipline you need to succeed in any area of your life by learning to delay gratification, accepting challenges, having a growth mindset, taking charge of your surroundings, practicing single tasking, being consistent, and being kind to yourself. Musashi's teachings tell us that mental discipline is not something that people are born with, but something that can be learned with hard work over time. Like the samurai, we need to keep working to get better, focus better, and make sure our actions are in line with our most important goals. Mastering the mind isn't easy, but if we work hard and don't give up, we can be like the samurai, strong, focused, and unbeatable.